All right. So how you doing, everybody? All right. So I had a question from one of our viewers. They gave me this question to help you with. Okay. All right. So let's begin. So the question says, write program code to print out a pattern like this. I'm sure in one of your past examination papers, you have come across such a question. All right. So if we look at this question exactly, we can see a pattern. This pattern is that this is just something like iteration of these letters from A to F, but here they are decreasing by one, by one, by one, by one. Okay, and here they are also decreasing. And if you start from here, they are increasing. When they reach the maximum, they start to decrease. How can we do this? All right. So first and foremost, let's begin. And of course, we'll need a storage for these letters. So dim letters is a string. I'm using a variable, not an array. I'll make a separate video for how to do this with an array. Okay. So I need to initialize my string, right? And also I will need an iteration. My iteration, I'm going to be using a while loop. So okay, let me just declare it here. Dim I as integer, right? Let me also initialize it, right? So here's my plan. My plan is that our while loop is going to be focused on this first pattern, or this first triangle, and the other while loop is going to be based on the what, on this inverted triangle, the other triangle. If you can look at this, these are two triangles, which one is inverted on top of the other, or inverted under the other, right? Okay, so let's begin. So while I is less than or equals to what, how many are these? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. While I is less than or equal to what? To 6. Okay. We need our letters, they need to increment, okay, by a letter, right? They need to increment like A, B, B, C. They need to increment by different letter in each iteration. Okay, so how can we make them iterate? We can just simply use the VB function, which returns the character associated with the specified character code, right? So the character code for character A is 65. Okay, so CHR, so 65 plus I. Okay, and here we console dot write line our letters. Okay, and our letters need to increment by a letter in each iteration. Okay, so I plus or equals to what, to 1, something like that, and we are done for this one, right? Let's test our program code. We are done for this first triangle. All right, let's test it. So it's correct, right? All right. So now for the other inverted one. Okay, this may look a bit strange to you. Let me do it. For the other one, we need to first check when is the other triangle beginning at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so let's initialize our iteration condition. So I is equals to what, is equals to, of course, computer start counting from 0. So I is equals to 5, right? So while I is greater or equal to 0, because remember, now we are now so while I is greater or equal to what, to 0, because now we are now doing the other iteration, but here we are decreasing. Remember, here we were increasing, now we are decreasing. So we are no longer coming from 0 to 6. No, we are now coming from 5 to 0. Okay, Right, so while I is greater or equal to 0, our letters is equals to what? Is equals to the letters, right? Dot substring. What's a substring? A substring, it retrieves a substring from what? From a certain instance, right? So the substring, it will start at a specified position. Okay, so what do we mean by here? A substring, this first substring we're going to be looking at, it will start at this, okay, and decrease and decrease and decrease until we come to here. Okay, so let us dot substring, right? Our first index is going to be 0, and our last index is going to be what? Is going to be I plus 1. Okay, so now we need to consult the trend line, the letters. Remember, this program is still connected to this program, so these letters which are now being taken, the substring, are these letters which were being incremented. When we say letters dot substring, we are saying these, because this was the last line of code which was printed out. So when we say dot substring from 0 to I plus 1, it just means from 0 to here, okay? And because we're now decreasing, it's letters, so our index I minus equals to 1. At this here, let me just write the long way. I is equals to what? I minus 1, okay? Yeah, similar like that, I'm sure that's it. Yeah, that's it. Right, so thank you guys for following. If you made it this far, congrats.